Hey everyone, friends, subscribers, and guests of the channel. You're watching 5 Stars. We're still in Sosnowiec, still battling our way through the local kebab scene. And the next kebab in line today is BM King. I hope you can see it clearly. Yep, BM King. This place is located at Grotarova, Skenko 33. Earlier this summer, there was a different kebab spot in this exact location. It was run by a Polish woman, and she had 2 young girls working with her. I stopped by once back then, gave it a try, but honestly, it didn't work for me at all flavor-wise. They claimed the meat was craft style. They had lavash, pita, tortilla. Basically, everything on paper looked right, but the taste, pretty weak. Like a 3 out of 5, maybe 3 stars at best. Eventually, that place shut down, and BM King opened instead. Right now, BM King sits at a 4.5-star rating. Reviews are very mixed though. Some people really like it, others are not impressed at all. If you look closer, there are plenty of 5-star reviews, but you'll also find 4s, 3s, 2s, and even some 1-stars. And yeah, there are already a few 1-star reviews. In total, there are about 207 reviews collected over roughly 4 to 5 months. That's how this new BM King looks so far. As far as I remember, this is a chain. There are BM King locations all over Poland. The place itself is nicely renovated, clean and modern. A bit later, you'll see a short clip filmed with my hidden device that I use whenever I walk inside. You'll also see different photos, sauces, ketchup, mayo, you know how it goes. Everyone has their own preference. Alright friends, the only real way to know is to try it. I've already been inside, seen everything and bought the kebabs, so let's not drag this out. Some people love it, some don't. Some complain about too much mayo, others about different things, and some are totally fine with it. So yeah, enough talking. Let's jump straight. All right, as usual, I've moved to the back seat. The receipt comes out to 30 zlotys. Each kebab costs 14 zlotys, plus 1 extra zloty for takeaway packaging per kebab. So yeah, total is 30. If you eat inside the place, you can grab 2 small kebabs for 28 zlotys. First thing I want to shout out, friends, the renovation. They actually did a solid job here. There's a comfy couch, soft chairs, everything feels nice and relaxed. Like you saw in that short hidden camera clip, the place is done properly, no shortcuts. Maybe I got a bit unlucky coming in as one of the first customers, but I didn't eat anything in the morning, so my lunch today starts early, around noon. And once lunchtime hits, this place gets packed fast. And honestly, I'm just not into standing in long lines. That said, it really doesn't matter if you're the first, the middle, or the last customer of the day, the kebab quality and flavor should always stay the same. If the meat starts drying out, it needs to be mixed properly.
Freshly sliced meat should be combined with the older slices and the fat that drips down so it stays juicy and doesn't turn dry. That's exactly what the kebab master, the head guy in the kitchen, should be handling. That's part of the job. One more thing worth mentioning is parking. If you're coming by car, you might run into some trouble. I know this area really well since I'm here often, so I know where to park. I squeezed in between apartment blocks and parked near one of the entrances, but if you don't know the neighborhood, it can get a bit tricky. There are parking spots nearby, on the right side and further down, but they're usually full. My advice, turn right at the traffic light, go into the inner yards and park there. All right, enough talking, let's get into it. The chicken kebabs should be labeled, and they are. Nicely wrapped in napkins, clean and tidy. So, what do we have here? Chicken, chicken again. Let's turn on the scale. Not sure if you'll see it clearly. Small chicken kebab for 14 zlotys, 325 grams. Let's weigh the beef right away and be done with the scales for today. 313 grams. Plus or minus, totally fine. About a 10-15 gram difference. Basically, they're even. All right, scales go aside. We grab the scissors, friends, and start the testing. I'm starting with the chicken. Honestly, that's what I'm craving first. So here we go. I chose the pita version. They also had tortilla, but I personally prefer thinner bread, lighter vibes. And just a heads up, you're about to hear some background noise because
it's winter outside and I've got the engine running. Otherwise, I'd honestly freeze in here. Today it's -1 degree, and while I'm doing these tests just for you guys, sitting in a cold car would be brutal. So yeah, if you hear engine noise in the background, that's why. Alright friends, this is our little guy, wrapped super neatly, clean and tidy, nothing leaked anywhere. I only drove for about 5 minutes and parked nearby, literally 1 block away from the place. The pita is nicely toasted on both sides, crispy where it should be, but still soft on the edges. And most importantly, the pita is fresh, because when pita isn't fresh, you cut it and it instantly cracks and falls apart. That's not happening here, so that's a good sign. This is what the filling looks like, friends. Hope you can see it clearly. I'll move it a bit closer, then back. Here we've got a solid amount of chicken, here some veggies, and here again chicken. Overall, it looks pretty legit. One more thing I want to point out. This is probably the only kebab so far where the cook, the kebab master, was wearing a hat. You saw that on the hidden camera clip. He was also wearing gloves. He handled money with bare hands, but then put on black silicone gloves before making the kebabs. That's actually a big plus for this place. Respect for that. The filling is solid. All right, I'm already drooling. Let's take the first bites and see what's really going on inside. As for the meat, you could also see it on the hidden footage. The beef is pretty standard. 2 stacked cones, basically ground meat formed into a roll. I usually call it a ground meat cone. The chicken, on the other hand, is in chunks, proper chicken pieces. But you can tell it was the end of the chicken cone. There wasn't that much left. So, let's try it. The sauce is very runny, like seriously watery. Yeah, sauce is a miss here, friends. Way too thin. I have to grab some napkins because otherwise I'm about to cover myself in sauce. The chicken itself is tender, nicely cooked. The sides of the pita are crispy. The chicken is soft. This is clearly the end of the chicken cone, and it's been cooked through well. You can tell the meat is probably from the day before. It had time to sit and marinate in its own juices, and honestly, that makes it super soft, very tender, sometimes even slightly crispy in a good way. Overall, chicken is chicken, no real complaints. There's a light spicy note, it's well salted, well peppered, but the sauce, friends, it's not really my thing. Alright, let's try a bit more.
Alright, let's try it. So what can I say? The sauce has this slight Indian vibe to it, like someone barely added curry. I'm talking super subtle, but you can feel it. As for the veggies, there's actually a decent amount for such a small kebab. You've got carrots, cabbage, and lettuce, so vegetable-wise it's fine. But the sauce, yeah, it's really runny. I wouldn't call it mayo-based at all. It feels more like yogurt mixed with tomato paste. But for me, it's just too watery. Let me show you on the paper. You can clearly see the consistency right here. Super thin. You get a light curry note, a light paprika note, very mild, nothing overpowering. Alright, let's move on to the beef. Honestly, I already kind of know what I'm gonna say about this kebab. Nothing special, just a standard, average kebab. But maybe the beef will change my mind, so let's see. I went with the mild sauce for both. Why not spicy? Because like 90% of people don't actually enjoy spicy food, and I want to stay objective with my review.
Spicy sauces kill your taste buds, and then all you feel is heat, not the actual flavor. That wouldn't be fair. Take a look here. This is the beef. I said chicken by mistake, but yeah, beef. It's wrapped properly, and I really like this setup. Meat on the outside, veggies in the middle. That's the right way to roll it. When it's done like this, the flavors mix properly. If meat is on one side and veggies on the other, you don't get that full flavor combo in one bite. All right, I'm going in for a solid bite, trying to focus on the meat, not the watery sauce. And yeah, nothing crazy. The beef doesn't stand out flavor-wise. It's your typical ground meat, slightly gelatinous, pretty bouncy, the kind where your teeth almost bounce back. Let's take another bite. I'll show the meat up close. So yeah, the meat is fine, but it's basic. A classic ground meat cone. Nothing fancy. No surprises here. Just a normal, solid kebab.
What can you compare this to? A few episodes back, we tested kebabs near the train station in Sosnowiec, and this is very similar, like really similar. The main difference is that the ingredients here feel a bit fresher. Back then it was more basic, and here the taste is slightly better. It's basically your everyday neighborhood kebab. If I were just walking by feeling hungry, I'd easily stop in, grab a small one for 14 zlotys, chicken or beef, and eat it on the go, no problem. But let's be clear, there's nothing mind-blowing here. It's just a solid, standard kebab made from a classic meat cone. Look at how watery this sauce is. It literally runs down the paper. The sauce itself isn't bad flavor-wise, don't get me wrong. It has a light Indian-style note, a touch of paprika. Honestly, it kind of reminds me of Thousand Island dressing, that slightly creamy, tomatoey sauce you usually see with seafood. So yeah, friends, that's today's quick review of BM King Kebab. Nothing crazy, a very average kebab made with good, fresh ingredients. Even the chicken, which I expected to be dry, turned out fine. The generous amount of sauce helped. The meat stayed juicier, a bit fattier, and more tender. The beef is actually pretty solid. A good, fresh meat cone, properly salted and peppered. Tastes good, but again, no surprises. All right, let's give it some stars. Location-wise, it's okay. You can park nearby, but there's no dedicated parking for the place, so you'll have to hunt for a spot. Because of that, it gets only half a star. The place itself gets points. Nice renovation, clean inside, and the chef works with gloves and a hat. That's a win. 1 full star here. Beef gets a star too. Fresh, classic, slightly gelatinous ground meat cone, but tasty. Chicken, just normal, properly seasoned, no flavor explosion. I'd give it half a star. And finally, the pita. The pita is good and fresh. As you saw, it cuts cleanly, doesn't crumble, and holds together well. Nicely toasted on both sides. The chef did a solid job here.
The side stayed soft, nice and flexible, not dried out at all. Just for the bread alone, you can easily give 1 full star, no question about it. But honestly, friends, that's pretty much where my stars stop. The sauce isn't great. To be real with you, I could even take away another half star from this kebab. It's not bad, but it's also not something I'd be excited about. Let's be fair and call things by their name. This is a solid 4. That 4.5 rating on Google, that feels stretched, like really stretched. Maybe there are some friendly or slightly boosted reviews that are pulling the score up. But in real life, when you're actually eating it, it's just a clean, honest 4. Nothing more than that. What surprised me the most is that I was genuinely hungry, like properly hungry, and still I didn't get any kind of flavor rush. No food excitement, no wow moment. This is simply a decent, everyday neighborhood kebab. The kind you grab when you're lazy, when you don't feel like driving to Katowice or all the way to the center of Sosnowiec for something truly good. You just walk in, grab it, eat it, and move on. For a quick bite, it does the job. Thanks a lot, friends, for watching. And don't forget, drop a comment and tell me where you're from and what your favorite spots are. Kebab places, restaurants, Chinese food, whatever you're into. I'm reading all of that and keeping notes. But you know what? As I'm finishing this, I honestly feel like I rushed that 4-star score. Thinking about it now, this feels more like a strong 3.5. Yeah, 3.5 sounds way more accurate. After a few more bites, the beef starts to feel a bit heavy. I can't say it keeps going down smoothly or that I want more of it.
When I do these tests, I often rush a bit because I want the video to stay dynamic and not drag on forever. But now, slowing down and actually paying attention, I can feel that the meat dries things out slightly. And the sauce, wow, just look at how much of it leaked out. I only ate half, and there are literal rivers of sauce everywhere. My gloves have never been this greasy in my life. Everything is soaked. Seriously, if your goal is to cover yourself in sauce from head to toe, BM King will definitely help you with that. So yeah, these are my final thoughts, honestly. 3.5. For 14 zlotys, you can definitely find something better. And if you haven't seen my Georgian kebab episode yet, go check it out. It was a few videos back. In Sosnowiec, I showed a Georgian kebab with massive pitas absolutely packed with meat. I tried both chicken and beef, 15 zlotys each, 2 for 30. That one was a straight-up 5-star experience. Compared to that Georgian kebab, this one isn't even close. Different level entirely. All right, friends, now it's really over. Thanks for staying till the end.